let's talk about spirituality, spiritual um energy, negative spiritual energy being sent to you, right? Listen, once you take the decision to intentionally sense confusion energy towards others, just expect back a mass level of confusion energy being returned to you, right? You because you think a person is XYZ, you want to block people's destiny. You want to block this, block that, block where people supposed to be reaching in life, block what people supposed to be doing. Somebody's supposed to be getting pregnant, you want to block that. Somebody's supposed to be reaching a lot of people in terms of the content that they're pushing out, right? You want to block that, right? Just imagine, right? You doing all these things intentionally, right? Somebody's supposed to be having a happy family life, you want to block that, right? Any negative energy that you send to persons intentionally, right, and confusing them as to what their own destiny is, right, when you know it and you search their destiny before they know it, right, anytime you send in mass confusion energy to somebody without, right, will intentionally, just expect that energy to be returned wherever in the universe that originating from, right, just expect that energy to be returned, right, and it's only the person who the intent, the pure intent is intended to reach. It would reach that person once as whoever it is, right? Whoever the pure intent is coming from, right? The pure intent will reach back to that person or persons, right? So whoever's sending negative or confusing energy intentionally, right, going to get back, right, from well me, right, because the confusion energy was sent to me, right, so I hate this return to sender thing, right, and I hate that intent of returning shit to sender, right, but when things not stopping, right, when things not stopping and people not stopping what they're doing, right, you really had to level back this intent, right, but I still trying to keep my intent pure at the end of the day, right, but here what, right, I know a person that naturally will ill intent on anybody, never was, right? So let me just put it there. If we're talking about intention, right? I was never a person to naturally send ill will or send to anybody any kind of negative energy or ill will, right? I just respond, right? I just respond, right? So mass confusion energy sent to me, I would respond to that. And whoever gave back that energy in return, gave back, right? And whoever sent pure energy towards me would receive back pure love, pure energy towards them, right? That's how my energy works, right? That's how energy does work on a whole, right? That's how energy works on a whole, right? So we're talking about intentions and how intentions, right, is important, right? Importance of intention, right? Importance of intention, right? And helping people to keep their intention pure so that you receive, right? You receive pure intent, right? So I was a recipient of confusion energy. Now that was sent to me, and I know in this life I never send that level of confusion energy to anybody, right? So that is why when people return, when people get back that energy, now it will be coming from me, right? So a group of people send confusion energy towards me without me doing, so I retaliate. It will return to that group of people, whoever it was, right? Because I know that I didn't do anything to deserve that, right? So maybe I was a recipient of it, right? So which means I have to retaliate, right? So being the recipient of it, no, if for example I know that I did that in the past, right? That's certain things I know. All right, hey, I break this person's heart in the past. Hey, so maybe that heartbreak was meant for me, right? No, that's normal, right? That's normal, like karma, right? But so, hey, I receive mass confusion energy, but me and son, I never had no that level of ill will towards nobody in my life. The kind of things I hear them voices bawling. But I was like, hey, but I never in my life. So I analyzed my life situation. I was like, but why really do to deserve this shit? Right? Because hey, I never had that kind of thoughts towards any human being in my entire life, dog. Right? I've never had that level, right, of negative thinking towards any soul, right? Regardless of what, never had that nature thought, right? That nature thought that I received, right? Intrusive thoughts that I received, right? Coming towards me. I was like, hey, but I never, I swear to God, swear to Allah, right? I never, right? There's a promise on the head of Allah and the feet of Allah, metaphorically, right? And the face of Allah. I never had that kind of thought towards anybody in my life. So which means that coming from an external intent, and that intent not originating from me, right? It's coming from an external source, an external intention, and that external intention have nothing to do with me, right? So if that intent now is returned to the people who send that kind of intention, right? That returning to the people who send that intention, right? Then I can't do anything, or I can't help to save nothing and nobody when it come to that, right? People gotta battle their own self and their own mental or spiritual illness or heart disease of the heart, whoever you want to call it, right? Because them thing didn't originate from me, right? So this is our message to try and keep your intentions towards others pure, right? Pure, holy, and sacred, right? We're talking about intentions, right? Because your intentions is translate into action, right? Your intentions is translate into actions, right? Or it could, it doesn't have to, but a lot of time it does, right? So keeping your intentions, right? Speaking out against the wrongs or the injustice that you're going through, right? And at the same time, because your words have power, and God make it known that, hey, anybody, once you have a pure intent and somebody hurt you, and that person go and get hurt, right? It's how karma does work, right? You have pure intent towards people, people hurt you, right? That person going to get back hurt, right? Without a shadow of a doubt, because that is in nature, that is the course of nature, right? They could get back tomorrow, 10 years from now, they're going to get back. That is a course of nature. That is a course of the Creator's work. That is the course of the Creator's law, right? That's a part of the Creator, right? That is the Creator essence itself, right? You hurt somebody with pure intent, right? If somebody have pure intent and you intentionally hurt a pure intent person, you're going to get back some level of karma for that, right? That is the law, right? That is the law, right? And God does not transgress his law, right? God does not transgress his law, right? So keep your intentions pure, right? And you're going to receive, right? It could be 4 months from now, it could be a year from now, it could be any time from now. Hey, but keep your intentions pure. This is not a joke, this is not funny, this video is not comedy, right? This is actually Quranic, right? This video is Quranic, right? So intentions is important to Allah, right? For some reason, right? I was always big on intentions in the past before coming into awareness of the knowledge of the Quran and thing, right? Intention was always a big deal for me because I think that all things originate from intention, right? Everything on earth, right, is created out of intent, right? Everything on earth is created out of your intent, right? Is a creator intent, meaning as a creator will, right? Is a human will produce something, right? You produce a technological device, you create a house, you build a house, right? It came out of a will, right? Of an intent,